Everybody, greetings from a very, as I'm looking out the window, wintry northeast. My name is Ray Flick, television beat writer for Bleeding Cool, and I'm here today to review the Chris Gethard Show. Now, I'm going to preface this by telling you I've been laying the groundwork for this over the last several months. For those of you who've been checking out the weekly static, you know that truTV was our most valuable player for 2017 because of the great, really fun quality humorous programming. And, they're really gearing themselves to being a cutting edge and a comedy network, and they're really going a long way towards that. We especially gave praise to the Chris Gethard Show. Also made sure to include some comments about the Chris Gethard Show when we were doing our Bleeding Cool chatter for the best of 2017. Also made sure you guys knew that there were 10 new episodes that were coming up, which started last night. So yeah, I've been a Chris Gethard fan for a while, so this is going to be kind of like partially review, but also really my concerted effort to get you guys to check this show out and to state the reasons why this show is worth checking out. If from a review standpoint, let me tell you about last night's episode. Two very cool things that you need to be aware of. Abby Jacobson from Broad City was the guest for the hour. It was live, and they were giving away cars. But if you know the Chris Gethard Show, and when you get to know the Chris Gethard Show, you can just imagine that the giving away of cars isn't exactly what you would think on a show that doesn't have a disgustingly huge budget and really shows that it doesn't. So let's just say quality and selections get a little interesting as they go along. So, but overall, just a good, fun, great episode. The 11 o'clock hour, I would say I'd like to see it back on Thursdays, but Tuesdays work also just because of the kind of show it is. So right off the bat, I'm giving it 9 stars, 9 John Cusacks. We'll go with that. I'd especially definitely go with John Cusacks for this. So now that I've given you the review of the episode, we've gotten that all out of the way. Let me tell you why I think the show is something that for all of you to really get hooked into. Right from the very beginning, I want to say it gave me that old school G4 vibe, which I love. For those of you who don't know the background of the Chris Gethard Show, make sure I'm getting my chronology here, started first the Upright Citizens Brigade, then moved on to Manhattan Neighborhood Network, which I miss greatly not living in Manhattan. That's just fascinating stuff on public access. They then went on to Fusion and then were picked up by truTV. It's just the vibe of the show is that G4 vibe in the sense that it just seems like it's a very cool geek place to chill and hang out. I was saying to somebody yesterday, if they always used to have Attack the Show on at like 6 o'clock. I always thought, since I've been watching the Chris Gethard Show, that 11 o'clock on G4 would be perfect because it's just the hour. And it segues into my first thing, the vibe of the show. What I love about the vibe of the show is it's not this show that's just like, hey, obnoxious hosts, garish colors, all of these crazy things, and pictures, graphics, I'm gonna go crazy. No, this is a chill spot. Think of it as a big place for you and your friends to just kind of hang out. Every now and then you rag on each other, you talk about geek stuff, you go into crazy tangents, you start plans that end up going in 27 different directions. That's what the Chris Gethard Show is, and I find it very relieving at the end of the day, because honestly, geek stuff, especially now 2018, it's so intense and everyone's fighting and debating. It's not with no nuances, everything sucks or everything's great. It's nice to have a show like this that's just kind of chill, and people who honestly I connect with on a ton of levels. Their problems, their issues, their concerns, the stuff they laugh at, they find funny. And the studio audience too. I actually dig the studio audience. The studio audience is made up of geeks who just feel like I just want a place where I can just chill and unwind, laugh at stupid stuff, laugh at brilliant stuff, laugh at everything in between, and just have a good time. So the vibe right off there is just, it's infectious. But I tell you, it's not a show. If you're going in there wanting a bunch of loudness and garish crap, it's not the show for you. If you're looking to have a show on that you can just have on and feel like you are part of it, like they are in the room with you and you guys are just chilling and have a good time, Chris Gethard Show it should be something that should be on your programming slate. The people, I know I've talked about this in my post, but I'm going to say it again. First, you've got Chris Gethard. You have the host, who, again, over the season, I've kind of taken on like a little brother thing for, and I think sometimes, I'm not always a fan of his self-deprecating stuff, but I'm particularly not a fan when guests come on and kind of take shots at him. So I know it's part of the whole thing, but yeah. Now, Chris Gethard, good guy. Shannon O'Neill, again, the hand of the king, using the Tyrion Game of Thrones perspective. Shane is that person who's literally just going to be like your consigliere, your confessional priest, your fixer, the one who's going to help you hide the bodies, and it's just her rough, tough, brutal honesty, especially to Chris. I love it. She's just fantastic. Murph, this guy is just a walking pair of vocal cords, and a Jameson addiction. I'm just going to go that route. The character itself is just, in last night's episode, I don't know where he was going with that opening, but I couldn't stop listening to it. Murph has that kind of presence. So again, he's the guy who's going to have your back in a bar fight, even if he doesn't know you, even if he just walked into the bar, even if he doesn't remember why he's there or what his name is, just to be the sake of it. So Murph, big fan also. We got Bethany Hall, who is the mistress of the inner tubes, as I described her before. There's just something sweet with the way it's how I kind of would hope the internet would be in a physical form, and just the way she approaches it and the way she outreaches to the fans and the way everybody stays connected, especially during the broadcast. It's just very cool. And again, that's something I'm going to talk about in a second. The interactivity is amazing on this show. You got the human fish. The human fish. What more can I say? He lives in a world of X versus Y. And again, I know I put it out there. I'm going to ask human fish if there's some slim chance anybody gets this to you. I need an official decision. Red Vines or Twizzlers. Very, very important. Vacation Jason. We're going to have to talk about Vacation Jason. Okay, I understand. Superman has his Lex Luthor. I'm going to think of somebody else and somebody else. You know where I'm going with this. So, Vacation Jason performs a necessary duty and function. And by the way, it's just hysterical seeing the stuff on his nose and the Hawaiian shirt, especially when it's like weather like this on a day. It just kind of makes it. So, you've got a really great ensemble. But along with that, they get some very cool guests. Again, we had Abby Jacobson on last night. In the past, they've had John Oliver on. The Method Man episode I single out particularly because there's just something very cool. Chris had Method Man give him his quote to officially put on his tombstone. I don't know, that may be creepy to some. I just thought that was kind of cool. I mean, how many people are going to be able to say, hey, when I died, I had something that was personalized, written specifically for me by Method Man? I know that's kind of sweet. For me, I'd have other people, but Jesus, Method Man, that'd be high honor, high honor. People, again, really help make up the show. The randomness. Stuff like when you and I hang out, when we all hang out with our geek friends and everything like that, the randomness, how we start with ABC and it ends up XYZ. One conversation that should be going off in 5 minutes becomes 45 minutes. An assistant that you think is going to be on for 2 minutes ends up going on a tirade that lasts forever and just has you rewinding and watching it over. You invite people on to be part of the random, and you realize live TV can be very interesting when somebody isn't talking a lot. There's just so many things that can happen, and it ties into this fourth area, interactivity. The randomness comes with the interactivity because I like it because I feel like they use the internet kind of like I do, which is you do some cool stuff and you learn, and then you try to apply that cool stuff to the stuff you're already doing. So you get live cams and mics out on the streets in New York City. You get Skype callers coming in. You have Bethany who's just working Twitter with really cool polls and questions and things and giving feedback from everybody. Just they had one episode where they had printers up on the ceilings that were just printing out, I think it was tags or pieces of paper of tweets that people were sending in. So it was raining down on the crowd. It's not like anything you will ever see, and it is the reason why the people who love the show, and me who has grown to love the show and wants to catch up on it, it is why we become so hooked onto it and protective of it. It's something, we would love to see get broad-based and really spread, but it's nice feeling like it's kind of a select club and a select home. Makes me feel good, and I'm glad it's on Tuesday night. So we're going to be talking about the Chris Gethard Show every episode for the 10 episodes and hopefully beyond the third season. It's going to be coming on truTV Tuesdays at 11 o'clock after, I believe it's Adam Ruins Everything, which is also a good show, but that's a side note. But guys, if you get a chance to check it out, please do. I'm going to be hammering this point home to you constantly. Chris Gethard Show, it is fantastic. It is cool. If you're looking for a place to just kind of unwind, not feel tense, and just hang around people who you would want to hang around with at a Comic-Con, at a bar, at I don't know. There's so many different directions you can go with that. But definitely check it out. And to everybody, if anybody in the Chris Gethard Show is watching this, blatant plug for myself here. Would love to get a chance to check you guys out and see what goes on behind the scenes. So please hit me up. But thank you guys for joining me. Hope you like this edition. Again, Chris Gethard Show, first episode back of the 10 that are going to be going on for 2018. Major thumbs up. It's just a ton of fun. I can't even explain it. I can't even give it a good synopsis. You just have to go see it. But fantastic show, folks. Definitely please check it out. My name is Ray Fluck, this guy right here, television beat writer for Bleeding Cool. Thank you for your time and your patience. I am actually going to be going under the 10-minute mark. Thanks for joining me. For those of you in Northeast, please be safe out there. For the rest of you, just stop laughing at us because we're getting crushed by Northeast weather. Enjoy, folks.